So, here we are.
Live.
Yes. Awesome.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our live show. We're just having a normal conversation, casual, organic conversation. There is no script. There is no really a specific plan. We're just going to go with the flow.
Absolutely.
And see where it takes us.
Yes, I'm so excited. This is a little cheers.
Cheers.
So we're just drinking some coffee. So,
which is our last coffee, guys.
stop. It's a coffee with catch-up. So we're catching up and just trying to figure out what this next year is going to look like. So I was actually just recapping a little bit about Kelly's event last year, which was amazing. It was her book signing, and it actually became a #1 bestseller on Amazon. So I'm super excited about that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But during the event, you actually put us through this exercise where it's us talking to ourselves, and I feel like for me the biggest takeaway was becoming your own best friend, and that is how I look at life now. It's just like, okay, like how do I become my own best friend, right? How do I make better choices for myself, my current self, and my future self?
Which is so important because the way that we envision ourselves right now, it's literally what we become tomorrow. Like there's a quote that I like a lot. The decisions that you make today define you tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And totally also combining that saying with the saying of we speak truth. So even if whatever we say, it becomes truth. So if we say, for example, oh, I'm sad today.
Yeah.
Then you become sad.
Yeah.
But if you say that with the same energy, you say, well, I'm gonna have a happy day.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna have a wonderful day. Then it becomes that. And with that same exact idea, we create the way that we want to have our lives. So it's like, a lot of people talk about this, talking at yourself in the mirror, for example. And it's tied up with like morning affirmations, or like the 5 a.m. club.
Yeah.
There is this, I'm actually not a 5 a.m. club.
I am.
You can teach us a little bit about that because I'm more of a night owl.
Yeah.
But I do believe in the importance of saying those things, of picking up a specific routine.
Yeah.
And then that works for every person, and then following with it and speaking truth and speaking love and speaking life.
Yeah.
And speaking positive things to ourselves, because what are we gonna do? I mean, all that energy that we could be like wasting in bad words, we could be investing it in something that creates something good, like a positive investment.
Absolutely. And then for me too, I noticed that when you complain about something, the world will give you more to complain about versus looking at something from a perspective of gratitude and just happiness, right? So I know that when I look at things through a lens of happiness, I have more things to be grateful for. I have more things to enjoy. And I realize that, I mean, if you really look at something, you could really appreciate it for what it is. And then if you are to look at something and you say, oh, this is negative, guess what? You're going to start seeing everything negative instead of seeing something from a positive perspective.
So true.
Yeah. And so again, the more that you complain, the world will give you more to complain about. The more that you're happy and gracious and in that attitude of gratitude, the more you're going to receive in goodness. And why not? Like the world is, your lifetime is so limited. Why are you going to go ahead and live it in a miserable... Yes. Right? And so, I mean, regardless of the situation that you're in, you just have to look at the positive perspective.
Like putting on the glasses.
Absolutely.
Literal.
Yeah.
I was talking about this earlier today. I was making an analogy of, imagine if you wake up and every morning you have in your nightstand 2 different glasses, the white ones and the black ones. And the white ones, when you put them on, you see everything clear, positive, good, opportunities, guidance, all the good stuff. But if you take the same, you have the same decision of either choosing that one or choosing the other ones. And the other ones are the black ones. And they make you look life through dark. Sadness, lack of opportunity, just like all the negative side of life. And we have the same decision, como the same opportunity. We have the same opportunity to take that decision every single day, every single morning, and as life goes, every second.
Absolutely. And for me, it's the mindset, right? You just shift your mindset instead of saying, okay, like this is half empty or half full. It's just, this is just a cup of water. That's the reality of what it is. And then I was also talking to one of my friends, and I mentioned, okay, like I spilled water all over my table, but it's okay. I had to clean my table that day. That's fine. Absolutely. Or I have water on the floor. I'm like, that's fine. I have to clean up my floor anyways. And so just shifting that perspective of how today is going to be the greatest day of my life, and every single day I wake up is going to be the greatest day of my life, and then God will show me how does it become the greatest day of my life. And and like the same energy that you need to have an awful day is actually the same energy that you need to have a beautiful day.
It is. And so we're anyway going to be living life.
Yeah.
Because this is not a decision that we get to choose.
Yeah.
No, we're already here. We're living life.
Yeah.
Why not choose it to live it how we want?
And being in peace with yourself, right? Which allows you to be at peace with other people.
And with the situation.
Yeah. Like there's certain things that you can control, your attitude, your emotion, what you bring in, what you watch. But you can't control other people's actions. You can't control other people's opinions or anything like that. It's just who you are on the inside that matters the most. And if I can look at myself in the mirror and say, I'm happy with who I am, why am I worried, or why would I be concerned about other people's opinions about myself?
That is very important, and it ties a lot to like today's society, I feel, which I want to bring an important point of related to what you're talking about, the fact of how social media ties up so much into autoestima, self-esteem.
Yeah, self-esteem and confidence and
confidence.
The whole, and your value.
Yes, and even the morals.
Yes.
Everything. And so, and it's I want to bring out that point because as we're live on social media, talk about how can social media also be a positive impact. Because it can also be,
It's definitely a double-edged sword, right? Yes. Because you cannot rely on your value from external factors, right? And that can be social media, your parents, your job, your significant other.
The definition of success.
Yes. And something that I also realized is everybody's path is totally different. So I can't look at one person and say, oh my goodness, like I'm not where that person is. But you have no idea, one, the struggles that person went through, two, the struggles that their family has gone through to get them to that side, right? And so it's just like, when people look at me, I'm like, I hope that I inspire you. I hope it doesn't ever feel like envy or jealousy or if anything, let me inspire you and let me pick you up. Like, what's the whole point of being at the top of the mountain
alone
if you can't bring anybody up with you?
That's true. It's worth less. And there is a saying that relates to that. Si vamos solos podemos correr más rápido, pero si vamos juntos podemos llegar más lejos.
Sí, yeah.
If we run alone, we maybe go faster, but if we run together, we definitely go farther away.
Yeah.
So why not also see the beauty? Just like we're talking about perspective, we're talking about the way of how we're looking at life, we're talking about that decision that we take on how we're living every second. Yeah, because it's not even every day. It's like every second we have a decision. Did we drink a coffee or not? Did we take a walk or not? Every decision creates a ripple effect. And tying that up with social media, which is how we're communicating with you guys right now. And thank you for watching, by the way. It's really cool to be like being a part. You're literally like taking the third seat in our conversation. Yes. And that's a beautiful part that I like about communication on social media, because it makes all us, the world, closer.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if we didn't have our cell phones and we couldn't communicate with our families in our country.
Yeah.
That would be sad.
It would be so much harder.
Crazy.
But also the importance of genuine, real relationship in real life is also very, very important. So yeah, I mean, obviously you guys are included virtually, but also being included in person, that relationship in person where I get to see Kelly, like, feel Kelly, like, yes, I'm like, Kelly, I'm here for you. Like, how can I be a listening ear for you or a shoulder when you need me? And that's what I thank you. And that's what I really loved about your event, that like talking to yourself, that positive self-talk, that I'm your best friend, that I'm here for you, and like that is me, right? So like you look at a picture of yourself when you're younger and you're just like, I'm here for you. And when I look at, I actually have a photo of myself, of my younger self when I was a child on my fridge. Yes. I look at it and I'm like, I do everything for that girl. Like, and I talk to myself in the mirror and I said, I'm going to give you the world. And when it comes to standards for men, friendships, or any type of relationship that I have, I'm like, if this person doesn't give me the world, I'm not going to take it.
I love that because you value yourself, and it's and other person can only value you or us to the same
extent,
that we value. Totally. And I'm really glad that you bring at that point, and I actually like that idea about, like, I usually do it in the mirror, but I like the idea of having a picture of the little me, the 5-year-old, 4, I don't know, the little me, because that's probably the version of ourselves that's the one that needs to hear it the most. Yeah,
and like that's the version of yourself that needs to make sure that they're safe with you, right? And so as adults, we actually become that version of what we wanted the adult to look like, or how we wanted that adult to treat us. So we continue to just be that safe space for us as children. It's interesting.
I think that creates a huge ripple effect in all different areas of one's person's life.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. I actually invite you guys to take a look at the idea that Sharon does, because I want to do it too, and maybe it will encourage you too, or help you in whatever area of your life that you're looking to improve. And it's to like give that little you that confidence that like I'm here with you, for you, everything. Not just the today version, but yesterday and tomorrow too. Pretty much. Like talking about all the version of ourselves.
So I actually wanted to share a story. I was at the gym last week, and this younger girl, I want to say early 20s, I'm 30 years old now, early 20s, she came up to me and she's like, how do you get whatever body part to look like that? And I was just like, oh, you know, make sure that you lift weights, eat your protein, drink your water, and mind your business. but no, not in reality. But she had shared with me her struggle with overeating and then undereating. So like she went through bulimia and anorexia and the whole shebang. So she had shared that with me, and I told her, I was like, listen, you just need to be your own best friend. And then number 2, like the person that's in the mirror.
So whatever face.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Whether it's 5 pounds over, 10 pounds over, whatever version you're at, obviously you could look at yourself and self-critique, but never from a standpoint of hate. Like when you try to work out in a standpoint of a point of view, I hate the person I see in the mirror, that it makes it harder.
Bigger and bigger, that same feeling, instead of actually transforming.
And it just becomes harder and harder to accomplish your fitness goals, because you're doing it out of a point of view of hate. And you should be looking at it from a perspective of love. Like, I'm working out because I love my body. I'm eating clean because I love my body.
And so how did the story ended?
Well, she was really excited. She was like, and I told her, you just have to think about your 80-year-old self too, right? Think about your 80-year-old self and how upset she would be with you mistreating your 20-year-old, 19-year-old self.
That is key.
Yeah. So like, not only are we looking at our childhood self, but our future self as well. Are we making her proud? Because I was at the gym yesterday, I was doing Pilates, and this woman came up to me and she said, how do you get that low? And I was like, well, I lift weights. But the biggest one was, I don't want to be a liability to my husband, my future spouse. I don't want to be a liability to anybody in the future where it's like, you have to take care of me because I didn't take care of myself when I was younger. I can't get up and get down because I didn't take care of myself when I was younger.
That is exponentially.
Yeah. So, and when I told her, she was in her mid-50s, and when I told her that, it kind of like went ahead and, I lit a light bulb, because she was just like, you know, like, she's like, I want more muscle mass. I'm like, I know you do, because at the end of the day, when you're 50, 60, 70, 80 years old, being skinny isn't going to get you from the chair. Like you need to, yes, you need to be able to have some solid muscle on you as well. So endurance and just training, again, not for anybody else, but for
me, for the person.
Yes. And
also,
you work out a lot too.
I love to work out. I do. Not at 5 a.m. though, but I do love it too as well. And you know what? Something that it's very important too is this looking at it like, okay, we're working out our muscles, right? But at the same time, we're working out our mind.
Yeah.
And the correlation that has with like the muscle and like the body mass compare and in congruence with the endurance. So whenever something gets difficult, a problem in life, which happens to everybody and anybody, right? How are we going to do it? Like that extra pull.
Yeah.
You know, when you're like, I can't anymore, but you do one more.
Yeah.
And then that's the same attitude that we're taking on our day-to-day life. And I feel like it's a great way of working out the whole body, mind, and soul.
Yeah.
Through going to the gym.
Yeah, and
through exercising.
I had asked you, I'm like, how do you handle everything, right? Like, you are a successful businesswoman, you carry a lot of different hats, and I'm like, okay, well, you work out and you have a strong relationship with God, but do you have any other additional outlets?
I do.
Yeah.
One of them is rollerblading. I really like rollerblading.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the moment of making me feel free and appreciate, because I'm just focusing on, usually I do it around the sunset, which is also ties up to me to like the magnificence of nature.
Wow.
And that makes me humble, and that makes me in gratitude mode.
And it connects you to God. It connects you to your Creator, because nothing grounds you more than being in nature. And I feel like the more society progresses, yes, we have big skyline, like big buildings and everything, but at the end of the day, nothing beats just going out for a walk on the beach. Nothing beats going out for, yes, absolutely.
Totally.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we become like a clogged pipe. This is a metaphor I share. Sometimes it's like, imagine literally a water line, and it's just clogged and it just doesn't flow. You can put amazing, beautiful water brought from Hawaii or whatever, and it's still gonna get stuck anyway. Yeah. But unless we open it up, but we take those shoes off and we actually make contact with like realness, life.
Well, I mean, we also have to realize, like, we are one with nature. Like, we are a human living, right? Yeah, that's literally what we are. And so it's like our home really is just being outside. And that's the thing too. It's just like, why is it so important to rest or be very intentional with having a day off? Like studying for the Florida bar, like to become an attorney. Like, yeah, I can study 24/7, but it's not going to click. Yes, absolutely. And so it's just like having that evening off to just kind of like hang out, grab a coffee, do a little bit of social media, and like have a coffee with you guys, have a coffee with Kelly, and just talk about everything that's going on is so important. Why? Because that connection. Yes.
That connection, that bringing back to the humanness in all of us, because yes, we can have amazing goals for sure, and that's totally fine. I'm not against goals at all. I'm actually pro goals, so you can see how you can envision yourself. Yes. But at the same time, life cannot be all a list. It cannot.
No, and mostly for females, I feel like when it comes to women, we have that like emotional aspect to it. Something that I did, which I feel like was a little bold coming into this year, was writing a letter saying that it's December 31st, 2026. And I just kind of explained how everything happened, wishing, like, only God knows, but I just said, okay, like, this is, you know, ideally I'd be this and this and this, and I really want to be able to get to the point where it's like, I can look at myself in the mirror and I said, I accomplished all those little things I said I was going to accomplish. And everything obviously for the glory of God and not mine, but it just, my ideal, what would December 31st, 2026 look like? Like, am I in a body that I like? Am I in a mental state that I like? Am I in good relationship with myself? Am I in good relationship with God and others? Like, that is so big, right? Like, being at peace with others requires you to be at peace with yourself.
Of course. from it starts within,
Yeah.
and then it goes without. That is another great strategy. You guys should be taking note. I'm taking mental note of that. I'm gonna make that list, that letter. I mean, the letter.
Yes.
I like it a lot because it's literally projecting the future self of how we're going to be. And also, and I feel like it's also important to keep in mind that us, especially as women, and talking to women, not being fixed into the specific outcome, like we were talking about a little earlier. I'm going in this process of learning how to be more detached of the actual outcome and just actually enjoying the process. Either or. If I want exactly what I want, or if I don't.
Yeah. And I feel as women, just our presence alone is so valuable, and everybody is so valuable and so unique because God made them. But if you really, really think about it, men go to war. They've been to war for women. They build empires for women. They have built castles for women. Men have driven 9 hours to see women. So it's just like, you just need to realize that the value really comes from within and what you're willing to have your set standards for. And it's funny because, now we'll talk a little bit about relationships, because it's just like, my standards are so high, and like each time I go out on a date with somebody, my standards get surpassed. I'm like, wait, that's even better than what I had before. And I just feel like it just gets better and better. And so like, when you say no to one thing, is because something better, and vice versa. If somebody says no to you, is because something better is going to come by. Like God's not going to go ahead and withhold any good gift from your child, like from his child. So I just feel like God is such an abundant God.
He does, he's not going to withhold. But if he does allow that person to say no, it's because he's waiting for something better, giving you something better.
Yes, always. And that's the thing. It's just like, when something doesn't go the way that I expect it to go, I just realize it's gonna be something that works out even better for me. I didn't get that job, thank God I didn't get that job. I didn't get that client, thank God I didn't get that client. Like, I didn't get the apartment that I signed the lease for or whatever, thank God. Why? Because
that's opening up the path. Kind of like having a space in the closet. When you open up your closet, you're allowing abrir espacio en el vacío para crear más oportunidades. Create a space in the nothingness, because if you don't have a space, then it's not going to get there. So sometimes in relationships or in jobs or in personal life or anything like that, just gotta remind ourselves of doing that, like being okay with the fact of saying no and receiving a no in many type of situations, which sometimes is not as easy to do. Like, it's easier to say that to do it, but it's important to just let go of the outcome and just take it as is, literally take it as is, taking life as is, as it is.
You know, something I also did last year, which you can still do now, is I purged all the relationships that didn't add to me.
What do you mean
Purge? I've removed all the relationships that did not work for me, and that includes romantic relationships, friendships, anything that didn't add to me. I went ahead and I removed it, right? I'm not saying that I'm just going to take from friendships, but just like our relationship, right? Like, I can help you, you can help me, we scratch each other's back. I want the best for you, you want the best for me, and we move forward from there, right?
We go together.
Absolutely. Like, I will never be with a friend who's going to look at me with a side eye like, oh, you're too overdressed, or, and we don't deserve that.
We will need to shrink in that scenario, and that will then allow us to be at our maximum or the other person's maximum potential.
So
I like that too, and it is a season talking about that. There is a season that I passed through as well in a similar way. With like, you know what, realizing, and it first talks about like realizing where the environment is, because sometimes, like, for maybe somebody that's listening, if they want to do it, because we're kind of sharing things that like has worked for us, and maybe it will work for someone else too, if you guys want to take the advice, depending. Doing a list of what are those situations or environments that you're putting yourself at, and then analyzing them, what am I getting, what am I giving, and how do I feel in this specific scenario. and that's gonna give you an answer.
So something about me that I specifically don't do is if I don't want to do something, I'm not going to do it. I don't care who's asking for it. I don't care if it's $1 million, $1 billion. If I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it.
I love that.
I'm not, and I'm straight up not. I don't care what's on the bank account. I don't care what's being owed. Like, it's going to be fixed eventually. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not a heart surgeon. And like, yes, I have urgency to get things done, but I'm not going to add that pressure and that stress because at the end of the day, I'm not a heart surgeon. Nobody's life relies on me that much that I need to put myself to the side and put other people in front of me always. You know, like that just is not going to happen from me. So I can't, I won't do anything that I don't want to do. That's it. And something else that I really, really enjoyed was just cleaning out my place.
Oh my God, that is so important because clean space is clean mind.
Yes.
I totally agree with you.
Yes.
And it's such a therapy.
It is. It really is. It really is. It truly
I
is.
enjoy it too.
Like when you have a clean space, it's just like, you know where everything is.
Yep.
For me, in order for me to have clutter, I have to be very intentional that I made the clutter and then I have it. I know exactly where it is. And in serio.
I love it.
Yes.
I
Yes.
love it. Having a specific space for everything, and it also, I feel like it also makes life flow kind of easier, you know?
Kinda. No,
It is.
it
Like,
literally
it
is
is.
so easy. Because, you know, I left this fork right here. Because this is
That
where I
you
put my
know
forks.
you'll always find it.
Absolutely. It just makes everything so much easier. I feel like when everything is physically organized,
Like
everything.
this place, that's why I liked it a lot too. It's like
Yeah.
the attention to detail.
Yes.
It really shows.
Yeah.
When I look at something like this, it tells me
Somebody-
the culture
Yeah.
of the team.
Yeah.
Somebody or a group of people
Very
are
intentional.
really working good together
That is true.
because they're keeping it up in good presence,
Yeah.
clean, organized, pretty. It's an entire atmosphere.
Yeah.
And most likely, the people that are here are happy
Yeah. Yeah.
too.
That's absolutely true. And then another thing too, but we have to also realize that even as humans, right? Even as people, we can do that for ourselves, right?
Totally.
So like when we do, I notice that every dollar that I invest in myself comes back to me tenfold, right?
Yep.
So I also, my partner, one of my friends, had also taught me this always be ready mentality. And I'm just like, you absolutely always have to be ready. Always. You know, as a female, as
You
a
never know when the
woman,
opportunity
nails,
comes.
hair, makeup, and not because of
Yes.
other people, but because of yourself.
Yep. It's
Right?
like treating our temple. It's like, how will you treat your temple, your house?
Yeah.
Well, it starts with how you take care of yourself.
Right. And it also shows the world, it shows other people, this person respects themselves enough to get ready.
It's true.
Respects themselves to take care of what they eat, respects themselves enough to dress themselves, clean themselves, shower themselves.
That's true.
Like, how
I
are you going to
agree.
ask for a spouse if you can't do
If
that?
you- That's true. We cannot get something that we're not.
Yeah, absolutely not. Okay, am I going to go ahead and say I want a husband who wakes up at 5 in the morning to work out and I'm still asleep at 11?
That's true. It's not gonna work.
No, by the way, I do wake up at 5.
I do not.
But you don't need to.
No.
Your
I'm
schedule-
perfectly fine with it.
Yeah, your
honestly.
schedule works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the nighttime, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I do. I'm kind of flexible depending on what I have to do. But I do see the importance of just having in mind whatever works for yourself, whatever works for
Yeah.
myself, and like being conscious of that, being conscious
Yeah.
of the beauty of having different personalities,
Yeah.
different talents, different
Oh, yeah.
gifts, different ways of expressing, and that's how we're talking about. It's like the beauty of life, pretty much.
Well, not even just that. It reminds me of this one trip. I was on the bus in Costa Rica, and I sat next to this gentleman, and I had flowers for my grandmother. And I think, yes, this guy was like, "Oh, I'm so ugly," or something like that. And I just look at the flowers, and I'm like, "You see how the flowers are all different colors and different sizes and different styles?" And he was like, "Don't ever." I told him straight up, I'm like, "Don't ever call yourself ugly," because look at, like, God literally made these flowers to look different. So he looked at me and he was just like in awe, but that was the reality of that. Like, why are you going to look at yourself and say something about that? And that goes back to the positive self-talk, right?
Yep.
You're not going to say something negative. Why? Because how are you going to expect somebody else to give you good news if you're literally talking down on your own self?
Totally.
Yeah.
100%. It reflects. It's like a mirror. Whatever we say to us, it
Yeah.
reflects to others. And
Yeah.
I love the fact that you tell that to a man, which usually in my mind sometimes I will think it will be the opposite, but
Yeah.
it's so powerful.
Yeah.
I think that I believe
Yeah.
that probably was time for his mind shift.
Yeah.
Mind shift.
Well, that's the thing. Just
Which is great.
women go through it, but men go through it as well.
Sometimes I don't think about it. I forget that.
It's insane. I mean, you know, I was in the
It's
bodybuilding
true.
industry. I'm still in the bodybuilding industry. And I've seen grown men, huge muscles, in tears,
Aw.
speaking in public because they don't like who they see in the mirror. And I'm like, if only you knew how amazingly gorgeous and handsome you look, but because you're crying and stuff, it just kind of like, I don't want to say devalues, but it hurts my heart because we know how hard it is to get to where you're at. And the fact that you don't like the person that's in the mirror, it's just like, what happens?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it really hurt my heart to see a guy like that. Like, and then it wasn't just one guy; it was like multiple men, huge as can be, big muscles, the whole shebang. And they're literally, I don't like the person who's in the mirror. So it's just like, even looking at somebody who's super fit, looking at somebody who's a bodybuilder, they still go through that.
There's still human in there. That is so important. Guys, we're still human.
Yes.
Everyone. You know, I don't know. Todavía no conozco un extraterrestre. So,
Yeah.
we're all human here. And I love to remember that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, we never know what anybody can be going through.
Yeah.
And what we can do is always have a positive attitude. One more.
Yeah.
Have a positive attitude that doesn't matter what whoever is going through,
Yeah.
we can be a light for them.
Absolutely. And another thing
Like
is
the
just-
light is literally hitting you
Oh,
right
yes. How you treat others is so important, right?
Yeah.
And that goes from everybody, the server, the housekeeper, the person mopping the floor, the person vacuuming. Like, you've been there, I've been there.
now. Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
I know exactly
Yeah.
how it feels, and I
Yeah.
feel like that's the difference also between somebody who came from money and somebody who earned it, right? Somebody who earned their right to be rich or whatever, yes, they earned it and they know how it is to mop a floor, they know how it is to sweep a floor, they know how it is to do those things where, like, and I feel like when you come from a background like that, you can value other people in a different aspect versus being born into it. Nothing wrong with being born into it, that's fine, but just realizing that we are human.
Yep.
And like, you don't know when that person who's sweeping the floor, mopping the floor is gonna be a multi-billionaire or somebody who has their own business.
It's so true.
And they'll remember when I was mopping the floor, you didn't acknowledge me. What?
I agree with that. It's like, and also that ties
Yeah.
up, I feel like that ties up with the fact of coming from another country as
Yeah.
well, which having different opportunities, which I don't see it with regret. I see it with, like, actually pride.
Yeah.
With ¿cómo se dice? Con valor.
Yeah.
Because it's true. It's like it makes you, when you work for something that you have to pay yourself, and I'm not saying just money, like effort, energy, time. It just makes you value things more.
Yeah.
Like exponentially more, and also it gives you like more fire
Yeah.
within.
Yeah, and I feel like you had mentioned this before, right? Like life gives you cards, and you can have something that somebody would be like, this is a disadvantage, but you could also look at it as, this taught me something, and I'm going to use it to my advantage, right?
Yep.
Because there's certain cards you can't really move around or whatever, and I mean, I'm a petite woman, you're a petite woman, and I had told my grandma, who was also a petite woman, I'm like, Grandma, like, does it bother you that you're so short, that I'm so short? And she was like, everything works. And I'm like, yes.
Aw, qué linda. And that's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah, so I have no complaints.
I love that mentality. I agree with it.
Yeah.
I agree with it. And, it's,
Yeah.
and what you're saying, like, our mess can become our message.
Yeah.
So even if there is, you were talking about the cars and maybe some things in life that maybe don't go as we plan or
Yeah.
are not as we will have liked to or whatever.
Yeah.
That cool in fact is the possibility of you to inspire other people to like get closer in the humanness of like, oh, whatever you're going through, I've been through, or whatever you are, I am, and then you can relate, and that's actually how we get to, God actually uses us as a vehicle.
Yeah.
Like that's how we become the vehicle to inspire and communicate, to educate others.
Yeah. And something that was really interesting in law school, I had this one professor, and we had her for 2 years, and the very last class that we had together, and when I tell you, the most beautiful woman, always put together.
Charming.
Yes. She actually argued in front of the Supreme Court of Florida. It was a pretty big deal. Yeah. So she actually shared with us, she was like, I'm sure you guys would never guess, but I went through the foster care system, and she like shared her whole story about, you know, going through having an alcoholic father and all these things, and it's just like, you would never
Something
guess.
you wouldn't imagine. That
Never.
actually made her the person that she is in that moment.
Yeah. Imagine, like, she was in the foster system. She didn't have parents. She had an alcoholic father, abusive mother, and she became this amazing attorney who argued in front of the Supreme Court.
And that probably deep inside of her is part of her motivation
Yeah.
of wanting to see a change.
She was literally the kindest professor ever, ever, ever. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And that just reminds me to what we were talking about earlier with Venezuela, which is a
yeah.
big topic right now.
Yeah.
And like realizing like so much suffering.
Yeah.
We're talking about difficult times, you know. Imagine how much, what magnitude of suffering has been for so many different people for so many years, but thanks to that makes them and us as Latinos like what we are.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, like when everything is handed to you, you don't appreciate it. And then when you realize it's not like that for everybody, you appreciate that much, much more.
So much deeper.
Yeah.
Wow, it almost makes me want to, I get emotional thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like you don't even realize how blessed and highly favored we are as human beings, but it's just like in the other side of the world, this would be just a dream. This would just be something that they just watch on social media, right? The ability to be able to like, hey, like we're coming or we're grabbing a coffee and we're talking.
Drive.
We can drive. There's countries where women can't drive or learn. I'm literally
not even have
I'm a
a
doctorate
voice.
degree. Yeah. Oh yeah.
That is really insane. We're blessed.
And highly favored.
It is. Amen
Yes.
to that.
Amen.
Cheers.
All right. So let's dig into this.
Let's do it.
Yes.
I will take one bite. That is crazy to think about.
Yeah.
The fact that like we can be having this, you know,
With them.
putting it in perspective, girl, it's insane. Imagine us doing a line of like 5 hours in order to get like a couple supplies for food.
I won't. Like it's insane. Like it doesn't even cross my mind.
It's true.
Yeah.
How crazy it is que nosotros, que literalmente no lo podemos ni mencionar. It's insane.
Yeah.
It puts it in perspective, you know?
Yeah.
Thank you, God, for this postre, por el café, por el momento que estamos teniendo,
Yeah.
por las posibilidades que tenemos y por la amistad también.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Y thank you.
Yes. So. Yeah.
Girl, that fast. We're starting a fast,
A
guys.
3-day one.
So stay tuned. Next video, we're gonna be talking. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do a next video, like in the middle of the fasting,
Okay.
and we talk about how it's going.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is our last.
It's our last meal, guys.
Yeah.
Last meal, and then a bunch of water, like a lot,
For 3
the
days.
next 3 days.
3
so
days.
stay tuned.
Bye guys.
Aloha.
Bye.